I have got some of the best brand new clone fragrances for winter. We've got a few months left of winter, and in many places a few months left of the really cold weather, and each of these are going to be in that rich, maybe dark, sweet, spicy, powerful range that's going to work great for you in the winter. This is kind of the second video I've done on this gigantic pile of clone fragrances I have here that I really don't even have time to give individual videos on some of the best ones. So I'm just putting them in these couple of videos to get them out in front of you guys, and that way you'll know about them and check them out if you want to. So we're going to dive into this list. Before we do, remember to give a frosty, wintry even click to the like button if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so first up, I had no idea that this thing even existed. This is a DNA that I've almost bought the OG, the niche real fragrance a number of times. I had it in my cart just a couple weeks ago. This one is a dupe of Tom Ford Black Orchid Parfum. I really like the Black Orchid DNA. I like the Parfum DNA even better because of that booziness that they added to it. This is from Fragrance World. So surprising that no one has talked about this that I'm aware of. This is a Zara Man Parfum, and they did a very good job capturing the DNA. It's quite similar to the original Black Orchid, but I would say a little bit sweeter, and there is a boozy opening, which I really, really like. I will say I wish the boozy opening held on a little bit longer. You know, on the original, to be honest, I don't remember if the boozy quality sticks around for hours, or if it's just really that first half hour or so like it is in this one. But if you like the Black Orchid DNA, yes, it's floral, but it's also dark, and it's textured, and it's kind of chocolatey. It's very mysterious. It's definitely unisex, but maybe it's just because I love the original and have worn it for years. To me, I don't think of it as a feminine fragrance. In my head, it's more masculine, but that's probably just because of my personal experience. I think this one is a perfect upgrade to that DNA, as in the original Black Orchid Parfum, and they did a good job of capturing it here. I will tell you the performance on this one, I haven't been super impressed with. You know, I'm thinking maybe it's a 5 or 6 hour fragrance and then I don't really smell it anymore, but several times at the end of my day, I'm talking 12 hours later, as I'm sort of washing up for bed, I'll start getting whiffs of it. So it very well could be I go totally nose blind and this stuff is nuclear, or maybe just as I'm literally washing up, whatever oils are left on my arm, get a little bit of water and it comes back to life. Let me know in the comments if you've tried this one, if you've had good experience with performance. Chances are in a couple months the performance on this one's going to be nuclear regardless, so I will update you if that turns out to be the case. I'm talking about after maceration. This next one is a dupe of Paco Rabanne 1 Million Oud, and I remember a lot of people were really impressed with this one because it was a very unique 1 million fragrance. Didn't smell like the rest of them. It smelled almost like its own thing. That's because it's almost like a dupe of a well-known niche fragrance. So this one is Naai Gold, which is actually from Fragrance World. It's their Athur Al Alam subhouse, but it is Fragrance World. And this Naai Gold bottle, there's actually another fragrance I have in this same bottle that I'll show you in just a moment. But that's what it is, 1 Million Oud. It's their take on it. And I don't own the original, but the original smelled like a lot like Penhaligon's Halfeti. And lo and behold, what does this stuff right here smell like? It smells a whole heck of a lot like Penhaligon's Halfeti. And so it's this sweet, you know, oudy, leathery, spicy, just very attractive fragrance. It's definitely, it's distinct, as in you know it when you smell it. It's in the same family as Chopard Oud Malaki, a lot of similarities there, and even some of the other Penhaligon fragrances, the flankers of Halfeti, and even Blazing Mr. Sam, they all have some real similarities there. And this one, it's definitely in that family. It's a sweet, spicy, quite impressive oud fragrance. No real funkiness to the oud, but definitely some niche sensibilities. Again, Naai Gold 1 million oud dupe by Fragrance World. This next one, this stuff is so impressive. I have loved this one. It is so very good. It's a tobacco fragrance with some very unique characteristics. This is Paris Corner Kahila Lux, and it's a dupe of K-Ali Invite Only. And it's a cherry tobacco fragrance with a lot of spiciness. Like a hot, sweet spiciness similar to Parfums de Marly Wajan. So whenever I first sprayed it on, initially the cherry tobacco kind of captivated me, but I saw some people had mentioned online, even on Fragrantica, I think, people saying it smelled like Wajan. And I really didn't get that at all for the first few days. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. These people have never smelled Wajan before. But after a couple days of wearing it, one day I smelled that sort of rich, textured, hot, spicy cinnamon kind of a note. And ever since then, I can't unsmell it. Now I just smell that rich cherry tobacco. There's also other kind of sweet gourmand notes and that hot spiciness. It is such a great fragrance. I would not say that this is a feminine fragrance at all. I mean, I'm sure women can wear it, as most K-Ali fragrances are kind of unisex, perhaps leaning feminine. But this one, man, I think it's right up my alley. It's the perfect kind of DNA for me. It's very impressive to me. So again, Kahila Lux, no problems with performance on this one. Easily 8 hours, could be significantly more than that. Kahila Lux by Paris Corner. This next one, I picked up a Mancera fragrance on sale back several months ago and fell in love with it. It was Mancera Oud and Venice, a very popular one. I never picked it up because I just wasn't sure what to make of that fragrance. I've got enough sort of oud-focused fragrances right now, unless it's something really unique. But I went ahead and picked it up. I got a really good price on it, and immediately I smelled it and thought, this stuff is amazing. Well, Paris Corner's done a very good dupe of that fragrance. This is Amir Oud and Venice. Amir Oud and Venice. Same bottle as their other Mancera dupes, and it is so very good. This is a spicy, oudy, sweet gourmand vanilla. This loud, powerful, sweet vanilla. Like the kind of vanilla you get in like Mercedes-Benz Club Black. You know, just this gorgeous vanilla. But then it has this dark oudiness that almost reminds you of leather. It's got that kind of a leather feel. Maybe some would say that's animalic oud, but it's not unpleasant. It's just, to me, it reminds me of like a strong leather note. And then you've got some spices layered in there. You've got some cardamom. I think you've got some pepper in there. And so it's a spicy, woody, leathery, even though there's no leather note, beautiful, sweet gourmand vanilla. I love this stuff. I would say the Mancera is a little bit stronger. It's, you know, maybe you'll need 6 or 8 sprays of this one. The Mancera, you need really no more than 4 because it's that potent. But they nailed the DNA. Almost indistinguishable, except for how much more powerful and radiant the Mancera is. I have a feeling after a couple months, this one's going to be just as strong. Check this stuff out. If you want a unique vanilla fragrance, it smells fantastic. It is a niche kind of a DNA that won't be for everybody, but man, it's definitely for me. Let's go next to this one right here. This one is, you know, it's okay. I'm hoping it changes a lot more over time. I'm talking about Cheruto Regal Reserve, and this one is an Amouage Opus Royal Tobacco Clone. And it's basically a very frankincense, olibanum forward tobacco fragrance. There's a good bit of spice in here. There are some other notes, even some sort of sweeter, you know, warmer, sweet notes. I think maybe vanilla, maybe amber, like that kind of warm sweetness. And then, of course, there's tobacco, but the frankincense. In the Almawaj, you've got frankincense or olibanum in the top, mid, and base. And in this one, it's the same deal, and it's so frankincense forward. It's literally like a layer of frankincense over these gorgeous tobacco, spicy, sweet notes. It's almost like I want to peel off 80% of that frankincense layer to get to the good stuff underneath. I like the smell of frankincense, but I think they overdid it in this one. I'm hoping with some maceration, those other notes will really start to shine. Let me know what your experience has been with this one or the Amawaj if you've tried either of them. Again, this is Cheruto, Regal Reserve, Regal Reserve by Pandora Scents, which is Paris Corner. Next one I'm putting in, it's newish. I'm mostly putting it in because it's in the same bottle as this one right here, and I just wanted to mention it, alongside. I'm talking about Naai Silver. So instead of Naai Gold here, you've got Naai Silver, and this one is a very good alternative to Boss Bottled Intense. So it is this warm, kind of fuzzy, spicy, cinnamon apple pie kind of a fragrance. And it smells fantastic. It is a wonderful, it's a wonderful winter fragrance. I would say super mass pleasing, super easy to wear. There is a little bit of freshness off the top of this. I would guess maybe lavender or some other kind of aromatic note like that. So there's some freshness on the top and then plenty of warmth and spice and sweetness as it begins to settle. Really good stuff, just like Boss Bottled or Boss Bottled Intense, Naai Silver by the same Author Al Alam branch of Fragrance World. Next up, I'm going to mention this one and another one for a very specific reason. So again, this is a callback to Naai Gold that I've already showed you, the 1 million Oud dupe. Well, this one right here is from Arabiat Prestige. This is Attar Al Alam, and this one is a Penhaligon's Halfeti dupe or clone. And so it smells probably, 80 to 90% similar to the Naai Gold that I just showed you. Very, very similar. And I would say if you have this one, you probably don't need Naai Gold. They're that close. And this DNA is actually supposed to be quite close to Oud Malaki by Chopard. And this is Generic Perfumes dupe of Oud Malaki. And I'll tell you, side by side, this fragrance with the Attar Al Alam and even with Naai Gold, although that one's not exactly like Penhaligon's Halfeti. This one, it's not quite as sweet as the other two that I'm mentioning here, but it's a very, very similar DNA, similar kind of oud, leather, spice kind of a combo. But I would say this one is probably a little more oud focused, where the others would be maybe a little more kind of sweet, spicy focused. So I didn't even know there was a dupe for Oud Malaki other than, there's a lot of things that are in this fragrance family that I'm talking about. But whenever I saw that Generic Perfumes had this, I went ahead and picked it up. And it's a great fragrance. I really like this DNA. I've got too many things now that are in this family, but I just wanted to kind of get all the different nuances and see what they're like, mostly so that I could tell you guys about them. So a little bit of a less sweet take on a similar DNA, Oud Malaki by Generic Perfumes. Let's move on now to the final four. These are fragrances I've already talked about in previous videos, but I haven't talked about them much, and each one of them is phenomenal. And that's why I'm putting them in this video here. They are legitimately phenomenal. We'll start with this one right here from Zoha Aroma. This is Golden Ember, and this is their dupe of Parfums de Marly Altair. Same family as Liquid Brune by Fragrance World or French Avenue. This one I would say is, it's a little bit denser, maybe even a touch sweeter, a touch richer and warmer right off the atomizer. It is so vibrant. This is a fragrance that's really all about the vanilla. Then you've got some spice, you've got some orange flower, and you've got some praline, which I love about this DNA is that praline note. It's just a nuance, but it really, to me, makes the fragrance with those other elements. And I would say it's probably a tie between Zoha Aroma's dupe and Generic Perfumes dupe of Altair. Both of them are quite similar. They're strong. They're super high quality. I like Liquid Brune as well, but I would pick either of these over that one. So again, Zoha Aroma Golden Ember, really good alternative to Altair. This next one is so very good. And I've talked about it a couple times, but it deserves more shine. It is so very good. This is Fragrance World Genuine Man Only. And this is their take on Givenchy Gentleman Boisé. And so Boisé was a very woody forward take on the Gentleman DNA. Now to me, I like this one better than I like the Gentleman Boisé. I have a number of the Givenchy Gentleman fragrances. I didn't buy Boisé because the woodiness was a little too much. It was a little too dominant. To me, what they did with this one, whether intentionally or not, it smells like Fragrance World took Givenchy Gentleman EDT, which is still one of my favorites in the line. It is so good. I'm talking about the original Givenchy Gentleman EDT, which is the Vanilla Pear Iris fragrance. I'm not talking, there's like an old school Givenchy Gentleman I'm not talking about. But the one that's, you know, the EDT with vanilla and pear, and then you've got the iris and you've got some woods and things like that. It seems like they took about 30 to 40% of EDT and poured it into Boisé. And so this one has that just, you know, sparkling vanilla sweet pear mixed in with that woody, rich Boisé kind of a DNA. And to me, it just makes it more palatable. So it's really a twist on Gentleman Boisé, in my opinion. And I love the way that it differs from the original. You know, that sweet vanilla pear mixing with the iris, that kind of floral vibe is just so very good. So Genuine Man Only Au Bois by Fragrance World. Two more. These are both probably in my top 10 clone fragrances out of all that I own. This one right here is Maison Alhambra Smoky. It is new because it used to be called Tabac, T-A-B-A-C. They changed the name probably because of the threat of lawsuits or something, but it is still that. It's still a dupe of Dior Tabacalor. And so it is this powerful, there's this fruity element with some peach and some plum, this sort of sweet, rich, almost crunchy. I always say like donut glaze crunchy kind of a sweetness. But then you've got this powerful tobacco and smoke. It is a smoky fragrance. I absolutely love it. It's very powerful. It projects like a beast. It lasts a very long time, over 8 hours for sure, could be significantly longer. Maison Alhambra Smoky, this stuff is so good. Check it out if you haven't yet. And finally, this one right here, maybe I've given this one too much shine, but it is one of my favorite pickups, clone or niche or designer of the past year. I'm talking about this one right here, Artisan Ethnique by Lattafa Pride. It is this very rich, complex, warm, spicy, fresh, spicy, gorgeous vanilla fragrance. It might be vanilla caramel or vanilla praline. It's vanilla with some other kind of sweet gourmand notes, but so much aromatic spice and warm spice mixed in there. It's, to my nose, it's quite complex, impressive. It's got the texture and development of something like a niche fragrance. And man, I can't say enough good stuff about this one from Lattafa Pride. It is a dupe of Sugar Addict, which I've never tried, another niche fragrance. So just check out the notes and see what you think. To me, it doesn't smell like cupcakes, which is what I heard somebody say. It's way more complex than that, way more spicy than that. So check it out. I think it's really good stuff. So that has been 12. I'd love to hear from you down below. Which of these have you tried? What are some of your top winter picks for clones? Remember to give an absolutely frigid, wintry, icy, snowstormy even click to the like button if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Justin. This is Sillage Scents.